Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I'm absolutely very busy this week. It's Wednesday today and I started my shopping with all that I need as I'm expecting friends home on Friday for Vaibhava Lakshmi Pooja. I started this Vrata Puja say around 8 weeks back, and when you complete this Puja on the 8th week, you're expected to call 8 ladies home, cook some delicious food, serve them, make them happy, and you all know how much I love having people home. It's been a while I haven't had or invited people home, and this was a perfect occasion. So I have made a nice list with some of the recipes that I've already tried, tested, loved. And these are the dishes that I'm going to make for this Friday gathering. And when I have friends home coming for Arshina Kunkuma. So the first thing first, I set 2 liters of whole milk to be boiled. Before start making any sweet dish, you need to wash the vessels, the plate, the spoon, the pot. So I have given it a good wash, quick wash, as I'm planning to make basundi. So I set the milk to be boiled, and as it's getting boiled, I shall set back everything in the refrigerator. And I also realized I have washed and soaked 1 cup of brown chana overnight. And you can see I have washed rice, urad dal and poha flakes to make dosa batter ready, as I'm planning to make uttapam for my friends. But before that, I set the chana into the pressure cooker for 2 whistles time, adding in salt to taste and fresh water. Now for the uttapam, when my friends come for Friday, we are going to serve them hot uttapams. It's Wednesday and it's still not very warm with the temperature, so I thought let me make the dosa batter ready now only. I have 2 cups of rice, 1/4 cup of avlaki and 1/2 cup of urad dal. Now the measurement of the cup can be either taken big or small, whichever is suitable for the number of people that you have in mind to serve. I have taken 1 large cup measurement. I use the water of the rice that is washed and soaked overnight, but I get rid of the water from the urad dal before grinding it. And very importantly, I have my eyes on the milk all the time. I keep stirring it occasionally every now and then, and it is important to keep stirring it so that the bottom doesn't get burnt. Now, this is a very rich, tasty sweet dish, which is kind of easy to make if you have other things planned in mind that you can work around parallelly, and you have to keep stirring it, keeping an eye on it all the time. All that you've got to do is keep stirring it, and that's how easy it is to make basundi. Now it took around 2 hours, 1 hour 45 minutes if I had to time it to make basundi. Alongside with lots of other things that I prep, this is one of the main sweet dish. So I've planned my day accordingly. I haven't added much of water when making the dosa batter. So you can see a nice thick consistency of the batter is now ready. As I'm planning to make uttapam, you need the batter to be nice and thick and not runny. We give it a good mix. I've added in salt as well. We cover it up with the lid and I've kept it in the microwave, as we hardly use the microwave these days. So it's going to be really nice and dark space covered up to keep it warm, as we want the batter to be fermented well. As you can see, the milk has come to a good boil now. It has been boiling very well, and when you keep stirring it, you have to make sure you scrape the edges as well, because that's the malai, kene, the cream that has started to form. So you have got to ensure you scrape the sides and put it in the center. You've just got to make sure nothing gets burnt either from the sides or at the bottom. I have a separate plate to keep the ladle, as this cannot be mixed up with anything else. Sweet dishes are tricky to make, but if you ensure of certain things that to keep in mind, it becomes a lot easier to make. Now I'm planning to make 2 sweet dishes today. The other one is maledi. This is a very popular, authentic North Karnataka sweet dish. One of the viewers had mentioned this in the comment section, and I do read all your lovely comments. So I thought, yes, this is one of the best ideas that I should share it with you all and with my friends as well. It's a very traditional sweet dish. It's made using chapati ka atta. So I have actually 2 cups of wheat flour, chapati hittu, gehu ka atta, salt to taste, a teaspoon of oil. We combine this first and then add in water. Now the consistency of the dough should be just slightly hard enough than compared to the dough that we normally make to make chapatis. We cover this up to rest for an hour, and the chana is boiled, so I transfer it into a pot. You can see the malai is nicely getting formed with the milk reduced more than half. This is when I add in kesar, saffron strands. This will become more thick with the time when it's cooled down, and also when you set it in the refrigerator, it will thicken. So I turn off the flame, and now I add in cardamom powder. I have crushed 4 cardamom powders and have added 8 teaspoons of sugar. So this is the consistency that you would be looking at, and you can also see the change in color if you had to time it. Yes, it's 1 hour 45 minutes. I transfer the whole into a serving bowl to keep it refrigerated until Friday. Now it's been more than an hour. I'm going to make maledi, for which I'm using my roti pressing machine from Sri Vijaya Kitchenware. I place the butter sheets on both the sides. If you want to place order for your roti pressing machine, this is the seller and this is the number that you need to contact your order for roti pressing machine. Just to start off, I smear very little oil on the butter sheets and pinch a nice big fistful dough. I keep it in the center and press it down. Now when you're making maledi, it's important to have the chapatis in thicker version than you normally do. The tawa is hot, so I place the sheet upside down, in which way the chapati is at the bottom. I can lift up the sheet now. You just do it like normal chapatis from both the sides, flip it on, and once it gets done on both the sides, you take it out. So this way I continue doing all the chapatis using my roti pressing machine, which becomes a lot easier than rolling the chapatis, saving up a lot of time and energy as well. Now when you're making maledi, it's important to have a thick texture of chapatis, and when it's still warm enough, we cut the chapatis or tear it down with your hand roughly. You can just actually grind it into a mixture. We want it to be a coarse texture. And now to this I add in jaggery. So we take the same cup measurement, 2 cups of wheat flour, 2 cups of jaggery. So it's 1:1 measurement. We combine it well and grind it together. Now using the same tawa where I had made the chapatis, I dry roast 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds, and once they start spluttering, change the color, that's when I add in a teaspoon of poppy seeds, kaskase. And then after roasting it for a minute, we take it out and add it onto the chapati and the jaggery mixture. And now we finish it off by adding in dry coconut, grated, and cardamom powder. Quite an easy to make, and it's still a healthy version of sweet dish. This sweet dish lasts for a long time, and the best way to enjoy it is with hot milk or lots and lots of ghee. I transferred it straight away into the serving bowl and cover it up with a cling film. Now I had this in my mind when I had been to India. This vrata was there in my mind when I had been to India. So I had expressed it to my co-sister Arunakka, and she very dearly gave this to me. This sari is being presented to me by my co-sister Arunakka. Ma Lakshmi symbolizes wearing the red sari, and it's lucky to wear a red sari and finish this vrata. So as soon as I mentioned to Arunakka, then she had a nice red color sari, this sari brand new that she gave it to me. It looks like a Banarasi sari, but it's super soft and light in weight that you can easily wear it, drape it for the entire evening without complaining. Friday is going to be extremely busy, and so I thought it's easier if you pleat the pallu way beforehand, iron it down, in which way it becomes a lot easier to wear the sari on the day, and also giving it a good iron makes it really beautiful and elegant with its appearance. But before that, I realized I haven't stitched the edges, so I thought of giving it an edging, and I trimmed the end on both the sides, just folding it up once and matching up the thread color in red, fold it and given it a per stitch. Just a running stitch on both the ends, the start and the pallu side as well. And then I'm using my Cricut Easy Press On. I love using my Cricut Easy Press On to iron my saris. It just saves up a lot of time with it, as it's a nice big square shape. It covers a lot of area of the sari at once, and when you iron the sari, it just gives the rich look, getting rid of all the pleats, all the folds. And when you wear it, the shine of the sari is uplifted, and also draping the sari, wearing the sari a lot easier. it tends to become softer, easier to get the pleats as well. Now I'm planning to make small pleats for the pallu. I know I'm going to be running around throughout the whole house during the puja and serving the food as well. So I better pleat the pallu, then holding a single pallu in my arms. Now to make the pallu, I use a big border section. I place it on the dining. Important to bear in mind to do it on the dining table, in which way you'll get the pleats quite easy, and also it's easier on your back with positioning. I've done the pleats. It's a nice big border, but the rest of the pleats, what I'm doing is with small folds. And once you're done with it, I use a safety pin which has a pearl inserted in it. This way it will stay intact without getting tangled into the sari. The pin will not get into the sari if you insert a pearl in the pin and pin it up. I'm going to pin at every distance of my arm and secure it with the pins and place the pallu on my shoulder to check with the length. And when I'm happy, I bring the pleats on the front, spreading it out. And now I'm going to iron this front portion as well, in which way it will stay nice and stiff and it looks really very neat when you're wearing a sari. I have blended, ensured to iron this as well. The pleats will look really neat, nice when worn. And what comes in front, the sari section upon the pleats, spread it out and then iron it. So the front portion will also look really beautiful. Here is to the very tricky part. Once everything is ironed and pinned, you've got to fold it as well, right? And you've got to keep it in the wardrobe. This is my very own version of folding the sari. So you just hold the remaining bit of the fabric, giving it a good fold, just the way you normally do for any of the fabric which is in long length. And then to the hanger, I place it inside half of it and then rotate the pallu section, the front section, place it on the top, as you can see the way I'm doing. I use a handle wherein I can hang the hanger, and it becomes a lot easier for me to rotate the sari and put it on into the hanger. I'm also arranging the tambula now. Most of the times when the tambula comes in, the glass bangles which are passed on is something that we don't use at all. Instead, I thought I should create a tambula which is usable for all the ladies who come home. So I have ordered online. These are really good casual kajal sticks that we regularly use on a daily basis, and the bangles in gold that we can always mix and match with any of other bangles, or when you dress up in salwar kameez or saris. I bought these bangles in 2.4 size, which is a very regular normal size that anyone can use. And I've also ordered for toe rings. Now what happens in a foreign land, toe rings are worn for fashion, so they wear it only on one leg, but we Indians wear it for both the legs. Now this toe ring set came in pack of 10. So I ordered 2 same sets, in which way I paired them up in 2 and gave it to them as a set of 2 toe rings, 2 bangles and 1 kajal stick. I've also got 8 Vaibhava Lakshmi book to give away, and I also felt I should be giving them flowers, roses to wear, and when they come, rather than just giving them in a potli or something, I thought I should ask them to wear it. And so I gathered some bobby pins as well. So if I keep the pins, they will put the flowers on their hair for sure. So keeping it ready this way. So this was Wednesday done to this point. Thursday, as it's a fresh day again, I honestly cooked most of the dishes on Thursday, keeping it all ready, as I'll be doing a lot of puja things on Friday. So I wanted to finish off all the chores as much as I can on Thursday. So I geared up myself to work double the speed. Now I started prepping the things just the way I had planned in mind. For the starters, I thought of making very authentic South Indian starter. So I wanted to give masala upma, masala uppit. So into the air fryer, I set potatoes to be air fried. I've cut the potatoes into wedges after peeling off the skin. We want them to be in large chunks. I've placed them in the air frying tray for 10 minutes time at 190 degrees temperature. Now I prefer using the air fryer because it will need very little of oil. Just a spray of oil should be sufficient. If I had to do the same on the pan, it would have taken a lot of oil, a lot of struggle to peel off the potatoes sticking to the pan, and it gets done parallelly, that I do not have to work looking after the potatoes. I can just work on the other things when the potatoes are getting done in the air fryer. Now I'm using shallot onions. It does take a little while to peel off the skin from the shallot onions, but the taste will be excellent. So I'm using a bowl full of shallot onions. So in 10 minutes time, I have peeled the skin from the shallot onions and the potatoes are done as well. I'm using 3 brinjal that I've cut in wedges. So these are the 3 vegetables that I will be using to make masale uppettu. Potatoes, onions and brinjal in a large pot with 2 tablespoons of oil, 2 tablespoons of desi ghee, 3 brinjal cut in wedges in large chunks. I saute them first. I sprinkle in very little salt, cover it up with a lid, in which way the brinjal will become soft soon, and once we see the change in color, they are cooked from all sides. I take it out, transferring it into a bowl, and use the same vessel, continue using it to make the tadka. With a teaspoon of mustard seeds, we let it splutter in and then add in a tablespoon of chana dal, urad dal. We give it a good mix and wait for them to turn crunchy. A string of curry leaves, a bowl full of shallot onions. We let them roast in and then add in the aubergine and air-fried potatoes. We combine all of them together, warming it up, and then add in 2 teaspoons of Kashmiri red chili powder, 4 teaspoons of homemade garam masala. We combine it well. So we have the tadka ready now for the upma. I also dry roast semolina rava. This is coarse rava that I'm using. In a kadai, I have roasted 1 big large cup of rava. Until then, I dry roast it. And when you touch it, you should feel it's really nice and hot. Also, you can smell, it smells so good when the rava is cooked. Once that's done, I add in the rava also into the tadka and add in 3 cups of water and a little more. I like to keep that moisture in the rava, so I like to add in half cup extra. Usually it's 1 cup of rava, 3 cups of water. Just an extra additional half cup of water will make it really nice and moist, and I also add in salt as well. So when my friends arrive tomorrow, all I've got to do is turn on the flame and let the rava be cooked. So this will take only 5 minutes time, not long. So my starter for tomorrow is ready. I'm planning to make tomato chutney with a teaspoon of oil, mustard seeds. I let it splutter in and cover it up with a lid so that we can the kitchen countertop is nice and clean, and then add in a handful of cashew nuts, a teaspoon of chana dal. We let it turn crunchy and then add in an inch of ginger, 4 garlic cloves. We let them turn aromatic, 2 green chilies, 1 string of curry leaves, a teaspoon of cumin seeds, 2 dry red chilies, a teaspoon of poppy seeds, 5 large tomatoes that are chopped in chunks. I sprinkle in salt, give it a stir, cover it up with a lid, and we wait for it to become soft and come to a good boil. And for the tomatoes to be softened, and also infusing all the flavors of the masalas, and then we add in tamarind to this, handful of mint leaves, handful of coriander leaves, a tablespoon of fresh coconut, salt to taste. And after a minute or 2, when it's bubbling in well, that's when we turn off the flame and we'll let it cool down completely before grinding it into a chutney. For this process to be really nice and quick and for it to become really cold, what I normally do is keep anything that needs to cool down onto a windowsill by opening the windows, letting in fresh air come in, and for the chutney to cool down. Now, to make the chana chaat ready, I've added in the cooked chana, 1 large orange that I've cut in small squares, half a bowl of grapes that I've chopped, 1 large tomato chopped, 1 avocado, half a teaspoon of dried parsley, salt to taste. And now I realize this bowl is too tight to mix in, so I transfer it into another container so that I can give it a good mix very easily. And I also added in garlic granules to it, which made a huge difference to the taste. Transferring it back into the bowl so that it's easier for the next day. This will be the serving dish. So yes, I transferred it into the glass bowl again. If it's in the serving bowl, I cover it up with a cling film and setting it in the refrigerator straight away. Now I have bought store-bought gongura pickle, uppinkai. Let's add in some real good flavor to the pickle by adding in finely chopped garlic cloves, finely chopped green chilies and onions as well. Now adding just these 3 things onto the gongura pickle, which is store-bought, it just adds in so much of flavor and taste, making it a completely new dish altogether at once. My friends absolutely loved this gongura pickle that I served in the beginning with the starter along with uppittu. Now, small tricks such as these make a huge difference to the menu. The tomato chutney has cooled down completely, so I'm going to grind it now to make a chutney to be enjoyed with the uttapam. Now to make the tempering, with a tablespoon of oil, a teaspoon of mustard seeds, 1 red chili, a string of curry leaves. I add it onto the tomato chutney. Now as I'm making the dishes ready, I'm keeping them straight into the refrigerator so that they will stay nice and fresh for tomorrow. Now I'm planning to make mango lassi, for which I'm using Greek style yogurt, which has a very nice creamy texture. In a very large vessel, I have 2 pots of Greek style yogurt, a tin of mango pulp, and to clear up the tin, the mango pulp is right at the sides as well of the tin. So I have added in oat milk into the tin and clearing up the sides of the tin. So yeah, oat milk for that little bit of the flowy consistency. 2 cardamom pods that I have crushed into powder, and honey to your taste. I also add in brown sugar, say around 4 teaspoons. I use my handheld blender. Combining all of it is a lot easier in a large pot and using a handheld mixie. As and when I make a dish, I prefer transferring it into the serving containers, which will make it ready for tomorrow. I'm using a jug and a smoothie jug for serving the lassi. Now I'm planning to make meaty rice for tomorrow, so I'm going to make the tadka ready for it in a pan with a tablespoon of oil, a tablespoon of ghee, and I add in whole masalas like 3 pulao leaves, 1 inch of cinnamon stick, 4 cloves, 2 cardamom pods, a teaspoon of cumin seeds, a bowl of onions that I have chopped lengthwise. I saute them until they turn translucent and it has to become tender. That's when I add in 2 teaspoons of garlic and ginger paste. We let it turn aromatic, and then it's time to add in 2 full bunch of fresh meaty leaves that I've washed and chopped them. Adding in meaty leaves are so good in taste. Luckily, we found fresh meaty leaves this weekend, so we had to make meaty pulao. We'll wait for the leaves to turn soft and tender, and then I add in a bowl full of frozen peas, 1/8 teaspoon of turmeric powder, a teaspoon of green chili paste, 2 teaspoon of MTR puliyogre powder. And now that we have given this a good mix, I'm going to transfer this goju into the container. Now tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer this goju into the pressure cooker along with 1.5 cup of rice and water. I'm going to use basmati rice and also add in salt and pressure cook it for 1 whistle. I shall do this tomorrow when my friends arrive, so we'll have fresh meaty pulao which will be ready, hot, tasty, nice and fresh. And also certain things that we can do way beforehand is fry poppadoms, keep them ready, as I'm going to deep fry them and keep them in the airtight container. I'm dry roasting around 5 handful of peanuts until they start sizzling and change their color. Peanuts taste so good in any of the dishes that you add. I transferred it onto the napkin so that they will cool down faster and I can peel off the skin from them. I have a small watermelon that I've got from the supermarket yesterday. I've cut it in triangles so that it's easier for anybody to hold it in the hand and enjoy this very refreshing fruit. Fruits are such a must when you have so much of variety of food. It helps you to feel a lot better, just calming your stomach amongst all the different varieties of food that we get to enjoy. I sprinkle in some salt and fresh pepper powder on top of the watermelons. Now to make green chutney. Now I'm quickly going to show you what I've got in the plate to make green chutney. I have handful of coriander leaves, 1 cup of fresh coconut, handful of mint leaves, handful of dariya dal, handful of peanuts, 4 green chilies and half a lime. I combine all of it together into a mixie jar along with some salt and water and grind it into a chutney which is green in color. And the lights are lit up. So this is just the right time to start off the puja. Before my friends start arriving, I've started the puja. I want them to enter the house when I am doing the Lakshmi Puja. And luckily, it so happened when I was still doing the Lakshmi Ashtotara, my friends started coming and I felt truly blessed. So these are my friends Ashtalakshmis for today who are very dear to me. They came in at the right time. I couldn't capture many of the moments because we were so busy celebrating and I was doing the puja. But now that you can see, these are my very beautiful dear friends who are all home. So when the puja is done, I gave kumkum to all the ladies, fresh roses that was worshipped and kept at the foot of the Lakshmi, giving the roses to all the ladies. I also had a pen so that they can put it. I also had pins so that they can put it onto the hair. And I also gave the fruits that was offered to Ma Lakshmi. I gave it to the ladies and one book for every lady. If they wish, they can do the same vrata at home, but that is entirely their choice. A potli that carries bangles, toe-rings, kajal, and a brown bag to keep all the things. It was a nice feeling to have just a few ladies home, in which way I could give a lot of time talking to each of them and spend a good quality time with everybody. So basically, we needed 8 ladies and we got 8 ladies for Arshina Kunkuma. I also made them to do the Ashtotara, labeling everybody's name on it on a tissue paper and pan leaves and one adiki betta. We all did our individual kunkuma archane and gave these plastic sheets, plastic covers, cute small ones so that they can keep their kunkuma in that ashtutar ಮಾಡಿರುವಂಥ kunkuma to carry back home, in which way they can use this kunkuma every evening to put it on their forehead. We all sat down, enjoyed the food. My friends are a great help when they are at home. They did most of the cooking. They warmed up the food. They did the dosas and they handled many situations which I couldn't get a grip of. They served, they cleansed, and we absolutely had an amazing time. I'm so happy that I did this Vaibhava Lakshmi Vrata, and I also completed this Vrata, and these Lakshmis came, made this Vrata complete, and I'm so happy that they are all happy. We sat down and enjoyed the food one after the other. We played some games as well. I asked everyone to write different 8 Lakshmi's names. Whoever is the first one will get a small, cute little prize. This way, I had a few games on mind. We also did some reels and had food together. My friends helped me to make the dosas on the tapinyaki. So we all got to eat bisi bisi dosas. We sat down and chatted for quite a long time. All in all, this was a fabulous evening. All the efforts put in was worth it. Ladies' gatherings are such a must that you should do it every now and then at your home. It's a nice feeling to have them home and it just feels so good. Makes you feel happy. I'm very happy that these Lakshmis of mine are happy. Thank you so much for watching this video in full. See you all again soon in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye for now.